Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create your own animations in the BBC Microbit Python editor here. So I showed you in the last video how to use the inputs, and that's what we're also going to be using here in the second part of the video. So the first thing I want to show you is a simple animation using these built-in faces here. So these built-in faces come from the BBC Microbit documentation here. You can see which ones I'm using. I'm using from happy all the way to fabulous, actually all the way from to meh. Yeah, so those are the images I'm using, and all you have to do is put them in a list. So I've put them in a list called faces, and I'm going to display.show faces. So it's just going to be display.show faces, and then it's going to say loop is equal to true, which means that these images will continue looping and continue looping for like forever, basically, until you turn off the microbit. So every time you turn on the microbit, these images will be continuously looping. And then I'm going to set the delay to 100, which means the delay between every single image is going to be 100 milliseconds, which is a tenth of a second. Okay, so it's going to be continuously looping, and the delay is going to be 100 milliseconds, so you won't even be able to recognize some of these faces. So why don't we go ahead and just connect that up and flash that, and I'll show you how it works. So we flash it. There we go. And as usual, I'm going to be using this power bank here. You can use your BBC Microbit with a power bank. In fact, it's really handy. So here you go. You can see that all of these faces are just moving really, really fast, and it's just going on forever and ever. There you go. You can't even count the delay here. That's how fast it's going. All right. What if we change the delay so that you can see the faces for a bit longer here? So if we change the delay to 1 second, which is 1000 milliseconds, I think that's a good place to um, to see the faces. So let's connect that up and flash it. Let's go. Okay, and here you go. You can see the loop is still on, so it's going to keep going. But you can see the delay is obviously, you can actually count the delay as to be 1 second now, because each of these faces are going to be shown for 1 second exactly here. So yeah, there you go. Those are the faces. That's the faces animation. All right. I'm gonna go show you guys now how to make your own animation. So on the BBC Microbit documentation for PythonEditor, you'll see that they've made their own animation called boat sinking, I think. Yes, he's gonna make his boat sink here into the bottom of the display. Well, what I've done is I've created a boat sail uh, animation here, which is where the boat sails from one end of the screen to the other, or one end of the LED grid to the other end, so from left to right and from right to left. So here you can see I've got 11 images here, but 2 of them are blank, and I'll tell you why in a second. So all boats is going to start with boat 1, and it's going to end with boat 10, and I'll tell you why. Because boat 10 has no LEDs, then we know that the last image of the boat is going to be no LEDs on. If we left the last image to be boat 9, then you'd see that one LED would be on. In fact, that would be the 4th row and the farthest LED on the right, the 5th LED. That LED would be on and it would be left on. Alright, so once the animation's ended, this last LED would be kept on and it would just stay there. It would be like stuck, like the boat was stuck there. And we don't want that. So that's why we have to make the last image all of the LEDs off, so that when the animation is finished, all the LEDs turn off. And it's the same for the reverse. So what I've done is I've created a list called all boats, and that has the boats from 1 to 10. And I don't need the first one because I don't need all the LEDs to be off at the beginning, although I can if I want to. It's not really necessary though. So I've created the list, all boats, and all boats reverse as well. So all boats reverse is basically the opposite, all right? So it's coming from right to left, and that's why I went from 9 to boat. The reason I've gone from 9 to boat is because I need that boat because that's the one that has all of the LEDs off. And remember, I don't want this LED to be stuck there again. All right, I'll show you what it looks like when it's working now. So what it's going to do is it's going to, when the button A is pressed, it's going to show all of the boats with a delay of 200 milliseconds. So remember I showed you this input and output in the last video? Well, the display.show is going to show this list again with a delay of 200 milliseconds. And if you look at the last one, you see that the loop was true here. Well, we haven't written anything, so by default the loop will be to false. So it won't be continuously looping here. All right, and the same for B, except B will be the reverse. So when we click B, it will go from right to left. When we click A, it will go from left to right. So I'm going to show you this working one now. Then I'm also going to show you what happens if we don't have that last LED that has all of the last image that has all of the LEDs off here. So let's flash this over. All right, that's flashed. So this should work now. I'm going to show you guys here on the camera. So if we click A, the boat goes from left to right. And you see that the LED doesn't get stuck there. It's clean and it ends with a blank grid of LEDs. If we go click B, it ends with a blank grid of LEDs there. All right. So blank grid, it ends with, it looks really smooth as well. All right. If I wanted to make it even smoother or even quicker, I could change the delay to 100 milliseconds and it would be much smoother. All right. So I am going to now get rid of that boat 10 that we had, right? I'm going to get rid of that boat 10. So I'm going to get rid of it from here, and I'm also going to get rid of it from here. There we go. So now I've got rid of boat 10. You'll see what happens with that last LED here. You'll see what happens if we connect this up. Hopefully this works. Should flash it well. Okay. And then, here we go. So you can see I clicked A, and you see that because I haven't got boat 10 that turns all the LEDs off, I've got that last LED, the fourth row, the fifth LED from the left. I've got that LED that's left on there, which is not what I want. I wanted it to be clean like the one before. You could see it keeps getting stuck, which is why the boat 10 is also essential, and also boat is essential as well. If you look at the screen here, boat is responsible for turning the LEDs off for all boats reverse. Okay, and it's basically doing the same thing as boat 10 is doing, but for all boats. So boat 10 is doing it for all boats, and the normal boat is doing it for all boats reverse. Okay, so let's put boat 10 back in here, and we'll put it back here as well in our list. And so now you know that why those blank LEDs at the end are essential. You can see at both of them, I have both of the lists at the end. I have both of those images that turn all of the LEDs off. For reverse, it's boat, and for normal, all boats, it's boat 10. So these always have a thing that turns all of your LEDs off at the end of your animation. If your animation is one of those animations that has like something moving across the LEDs, like this one here. So always have something that turns the LEDs off at the end. All right, I'm going to go flash that correct code back to the Microbit. And let's experiment with the delay here. Let's see how short of a delay we can get. All right. If we where's the delay? Okay, so the delay is here, right? If we change the delay to 100, you might just see the difference. It will move faster for both of them. Here we go. 100, and let's flash it, and it will look more smooth. I'll show you in a second. All right. Let's close that error. Okay, here we go. This is a 100 millisecond gap between each image. You can definitely see that's moving a lot faster and it looks a lot smoother here. But it's moving quite fast here. So that is quite fast. If you want to see each individual frame for a good amount of time, I suggest we change the delay to 1000 milliseconds like we did before, and that's 1 second. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so you can see each individual frame of the boat as it moves. Here we go. All you do So you change both of the delays to 1000 milliseconds. And remember, 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So here we go. Connect, connect, flash. There we go. Okay, and now you can see each individual frame for a good second here. So that's the first frame, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th all off. 10th is all off. And then the same for B. You can actually count second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th all off. So that's pretty much how the animations work. If you guys want to try animations of your own, remember to use the tips that I've given you here and use the Python documentation, which I will link below if you're having some troubles, and mess around with the delay and the looping if you want. And because you can make whatever you want in Microbit animation, go crazy and make whatever you want. All right. So make anything, doesn't matter how weird it is, just whatever you want. And tell me what you guys make in the comment section down below, alright? I would like to see them. Alright, I'm gonna flash the correct code back over. And that would be all for this video. If you guys want to see more Microbit Python editor videos, then please leave a comment in the description and like, share, and subscribe. That's all for this video. See you in the next one, guys.